Alright, good morning folks. Actually, let me go put a hat on. Alright, so my little brother was watching one of my videos. I think I had some bedhead and he just made me feel a little self-conscious about rocking the bedhead on camera, so thanks, Lug. But today is Wednesday. I don't have my watch or my phone on me, so it's bad, I don't know the date. I think it's the 16th. Yeah, let me just verify real quick. Alright, so today is Wednesday the 16th. It's about 6:30 in the morning. And today is technically going to be my rest day. And as far as work goes today, I've got some sales calls I got to go on this afternoon, but my morning is pretty much freed up. So I figured it would be a good time to sort of discuss the nutrition for the recomp. And then also take you guys through, just a full day of eating. We'll focus entirely on the meals. I'm not going to try to put too much fluff in there. But just show you guys what I'm eating right now and then talk to you a little bit about my current calories, my current macros, and why they are what they are, and what I'm hoping to gain from these particular numbers. It's a little chilly in my house. It's starting to cool off outside. We're officially getting into fall weather. I woke up this morning, it's about 68 degrees in the house, but my favorite time of year. I love when it starts to cool down. But I'm gonna sit here and enjoy a cup of coffee this morning. I wanna just give a quick rundown of my current calories and macros and sort of what the thinking and the logic is behind it. So right now, I am eating 2,500 calories a day. So in order to maximize the benefits of a recomp, you either want to eat right at maintenance, which for me would be 2,700, or in a very small deficit. So again, 2,500 calories for me is a 200 calorie deficit, which is pretty, I think it's a good starting point. I would rather start in a small deficit with room to move up, so potentially bumping my calories up to 26 or even 2,700 based on the way that I'm feeling. But I would rather start on the lower end because, again, this is my first week back in the gym, and it's not like I'm going to go in there and throw heavy weight around, right? I've got to get used to the stimulus and I've got to get used to training again before I can start to move heavy weight, right? I want to prevent injury. And so since I'm not going to be overly exerting myself this first week or probably even these first 2 weeks, I want to keep the calories a little bit lower just because I know I can get away with it. So 2,500 are my current calories. And as far as my macros go, the only thing I've really changed is I've bumped my protein up. So while I'm on a cut, I don't have quite as high of a protein intake because I want to have room for more carbs. The more carbs I'm able to consume, specifically later in the day, it helps to kind of curb my appetite and prevent cravings so that I don't go crazy at night and end up going to bed hungry. So I was going for around 0.8 grams of protein per pound of body weight, which for me was between 150 and 160 grams of protein. But I'll be honest, I usually exceeded that. Most days I was eating closer to 180. And protein is the most satiating of the macronutrients. It has a very high thermic effect, which is basically a fancy way of saying it requires the most energy in order to metabolize and break down. I naturally just kind of gravitate towards eating more protein, but I've increased my protein goal for the sake of the recomp because I'm trying to simultaneously build muscle while also burning fat. So now my protein goal is closer to, I think it's between 180 and 190 grams of protein. My fats are the same, between 60 and 70 grams, and then I just fill the rest in with carbs. And I'm not a person that's strict on you have to hit these exact macros every day. I set them there more as guidelines and more as minimums, right? So if I hit at least 180 grams of protein, I'll be happy. If I hit at least 60 grams of fat, I'll be happy. And the truth is, on some days I'll have more fats and less carbs, more protein. I mean, it fluctuates, but at the end of the day, it's the calorie total that I'm most concerned with in hitting that minimum dose of protein to promote or prevent muscle breakdown, and in this case, to promote muscle synthesis, and that minimum fat number so that I can, ideally maintain normal hormonal function despite eating in a slight caloric deficit. So that's pretty much it. 2,500 calories, about 180 grams of protein, because again, the goal for the recomp is to build muscle. So I want to get a little bit more protein on board. So even though I was probably hitting close to that number before anyways, I wanted to raise that number on paper in MyFitnessPal just to make sure that I'm hitting that every day so that I can obviously get the most out of these next 4 weeks and have the best recomp possible. So I just wanted to quickly check back in since we are doing a full day of eating.
It's now about 10 a.m. and I've said this in past videos. Usually when I start to get hungry or start to feel hungry, I'll go for sparkling water. So it is that time. I started feeling a little hungry, but I don't want to break my fast just yet. I've got a meeting, a virtual meeting at noon, and I want to make sure I eat before that. So I'm planning to break my fast probably around 11:30 or so. We're gonna do some strawberry protein crepes today. By the time this video drops, that recipe video will already be out. But these are fire, so I'll show you guys that when it's time to eat. All right, guys, I got meal number one. This one is about 400. Actually, it's like just shy of 500 calories, which I think I tracked it right at 499. It's got about 47 grams of protein, so it's really the ideal meal for me to break my fast. This is what I'm rolling with today. I've been doing a lot of French toast lately, but I went to the store this morning and got some strawberries, so decided to roll with the crepe. So this is meal number one. I just popped back home in between sales calls. It's about 2:30 now. Just gonna grab a quick snack. Got a pure protein bar. This one's chocolate peanut butter. It's about 200 calories, 20 grams of protein. For me, when it comes to protein bars, I try to pick ones that have, I guess I would call it the calorie to protein ratio. So for me, the ideal ratio is just lower in calories, higher in protein. So I really like this one because it's on the lower end as far as calories go, and 20 grams of protein for 200 calories is pretty good. And also these taste good. So gonna crush this protein bar. Got a couple more sales calls to go. I guess this is technically meal number two. I'm going to classify it as more of a snack, and then I'm going to check back in with you guys a little bit later. We'll see. I'm going to head to the dog park with the pups, so I might not eat again until supper, but we'll see. So I'll just check back in with you guys at the next meal. Alright, so meal number two is going to be a big salad. As you guys can see, I usually just do like a full package of either arugula or spring mix, which comes out to about 35 calories, and then I do a whole pouch of tuna, and that's about 41 grams of protein, relatively low in calories. So the total for this meal, actually let me finish tracking it. Total calories for this meal is about 300, and like I said, 41 grams of protein from the tuna, so it's a nice protein hit, and this is probably going to be, this is going to be my last meal before the big meal, which is going to be supper. So got something fire on the menu for tonight. I'll show that to you guys when it's time. What do you think?
What do you mean?
What do you think? Is it any good?
Yeah, it's good.
I like to consume a lot of protein with my dinner, and I like to consume the bulk of my carbs for the day with dinner as well. I find that it helps to reduce late night cravings. And the biggest thing is it prevents me from going to bed hungry. So this is the big meal, this is supper, let's. Alright, so I do just want to elaborate on what it is I just ate. I'll be honest, I was a little bit hungry, so I just wanted to sit down and eat. But we did a Greek-style grilled London broil, and then I do a great fat-free tzatziki. And I put that over the top, and then we did some Greek roasted potatoes and some grilled zucchini. So, let me show you guys the calories and macros for that meal. What you doing, boys? Alright, so for the whole meal, I did 8 ounces of the London broil, and I weighed it out cooked. I did half a serving of the tzatziki, some feta, some potatoes. In total, it was 940 calories. I'll have to pull up the protein separately in post, and I'll throw that on there as well so you guys can see the macro breakdown, but about 900 calories. I've already taken into account a halo top that I'm going to have later. So right now, I've actually got about 200 calories to play with. So between the ice cream that I'm going to have later and, I don't know, whatever I decide to have, I guess right now, I've already hit my protein goal for the day. I've actually gone over 200 grams of protein, so I'm probably going to try to just get some more carbs in. I don't really know what I have, but I'll do some digging and see. And when I figure it out, I'll show you guys too. Alright, so I'm opting to just keep it real simple, and I've got 200. Actually, I don't even know if I have enough almond milk to have this. No, probably not. Never mind. I'm not going to have cereal.
At the dog park, and this is my boy Coach.
You hear me fart.
This is my boy Coach. Wow, 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 wow. Boy, why are you moving away? He says, don't look at me.
Alright, let's take a look at this list. Let's see the damage. Hopefully some people went home.
Hey, boy.
Alright, so Nat and the dogs have just headed out for the evening. So I know I said earlier I had about 200 calories to play with that I was going to eat right after supper. But I kind of wanted something sweet, and I didn't want to eat my ice cream at that time. So I just decided to wait it out. And so now I'm getting ready to have my Halo Top. I'm going mint chocolate chips tonight. It's about 8:40. And so after that, I'll still have those 200 calories. And so I know following something sweet, I'm going to want to go for something salty. So I've got some pretzels. This is a high-carb, low-fat snack. So I'm going to weigh out, 200 calories worth. But that's it. That's going to wrap up this full day of eating. 2,500 calories. I think I went like over 200 grams of protein. I'll put it all on the screen so for you guys to see and for my own records. But 2,500 calories has felt like feasting so far this week. And the truth is I'm up 100 calories from where I was before. And admittedly I wasn't, overly diligent with 2,400. But I don't know. This week I just feel like I've been eating good, and it could be that I'm back to cooking. I'm focusing on high volume foods that are low energy dense, so that I can, consume a lot of food for not a ton of calories. Limiting the fats to a pretty good degree. But that's kind of a basic day of eating for me. I kind of rotate through a few different things for my first meal. That 400 to 500 calorie meal, looking to get 40 to 50 grams of protein. And then the second meal is just that one's a little more variable, but again, I'm trying to get a nice little protein hit and then save typically at least 1,200 calories for that last meal. And then lately I've been on a Halo Top kick, so I'll, usually finish the day off with that. But in the case of today, I ended up with some calories left over because I had that big salad. So when it finally was time for me to eat supper, I was hungry, but I wasn't as hungry as I normally would be. So originally I was going to have some more potatoes than I did, but I kind of cut my portion on the potatoes just because I didn't want to overdo it. And now I get to eat some pretzels before I go to bed. So